Good Monday morning, everyone. I hope this finds you doing very well and living your very best life in Jesus Christ. As I'm sure you are aware, we are currently moving toward the end of a Bible study called The Art of Caring, which is based upon the principle that if you love someone, if you truly care about them, you will encourage them to do the right things and support them in doing so. It's also a study of the different ways we can encourage our brothers and sisters in Christ on a daily basis. In this way, I feel that we can fulfill the instruction to in Hebrews 24:10 to, quote, "Let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds." And yet, as much as we all know we need constant encouragement in our walk with Christ in both good times and bad times, I'll be honest with you, I'm often saddened by how outright miserly some folks are in their words of encouragement. Or my dad would have put it this way, some folks act as if saying something nice would break their jaw. I'll just be honest with you, that's not the way Christians are supposed to act in any way. We're supposed to be generous folks, and generosity, as we all know, is not just limited to our money or our time. We should be generous in all the blessings God has graciously given us, including our praise. It reminds me of a story I remember hearing when I was a small boy. It's a man back in the early part of the Depression who lost everything in the stock market crash. Evidently, he'd once been wealthy, but he'd lost it all. His job, his home, his family. And at this point in his life, he was homeless and hungry. And he came upon a house of a poor old widow lady. He knocked on the door fully expecting to be run off as he had so many times, but this lady was different. She fed him. She gave him a place to wash up and a bed in the barn for the night. When morning came, she gave him breakfast, a suit of her husband's clothes, and as he was going out the door, she took his hand and slipped a silver dollar into his hand. With tears in his eyes, he says, "No, you have been so generous. I can't take your money. You need it." Her response was, "It's not mine. It's yours. God just gave it to me to hold for you." From that day on, he made a promise to God that every day he would give something away. And he wanted to be as generous as that lady had been to him. He kept that promise of giving something away every day for his whole life. Well, at first, since he didn't have anything, he would just make it a point to smile and be pleasant to folks, compliment them, help them when it was going to, cost them, not charge them anything. And he even was good to people when they didn't treat him very well. He began studying the Bible, and he collected Bible verses, and he'd write them out and share them with folks that he met. Later, as his fortunes grew, he would give away a little money each day, a quarter to a child, or maybe a few dollars to someone in need. And whenever he would give something away, he would repeat the lady's words, "Here, God gave me this to hold for you." The story goes by that at the time he died, he had amassed several fortunes, which he'd all given away to churches, hospitals, halfway houses, and a whole bunch of individuals. And he died penniless. When he was died, they took up a collection and buried him under a stone that said, "Here lies the world's most generous man, a true servant of Christ." We as servants of Christ should have that same sense of generosity in our hearts. We need to remember that everything we have, up to and including the very breath in our lungs, is a gracious gift from the Lord. Everything we have is owned by God, and He just lets us hold it for a while to then pass on to others. I mean, think about it. What does it really cost you to give someone a kind word or a compliment? A moment of your precious time? Let's remember that God owns that as well. What if God were as stingy as we sometimes seem to be? I mean, Paul reminds Timothy in 1 Timothy 6:18 that he should always, quote, "be rich in good works and give generously to those in need." People in this world need encouragement. Christians certainly do. So as we start a new week, let us each make an attempt to cherish a generous spirit. Give something away today. You could give away a smile, a pat on the back, a helping hand, a compliment, praise, encouragement. Don't hold it in. Don't be miserly. Give generously. By doing so, we show how we are as different from the world as people can be. And almost as important, well, even more important actually, is to act as signposts that can point them to Christ, as well as a bonus, providing us a firm foundation for an abundant life, both here and in the life to come. I hope you make today a fantastic day. I want you to know that I'm here should you need me, and I love you all.